Hey, what's going on? It's a Friday in North Texas, all over America, all over the world. I guess it's Friday, maybe somewhere Saturday, I'm sure. Tony Scott here from the Smooth R&B 105.7 studios, and happy to have you with me on this Friday. Thought it was going to be warmer than it turned out to be today, but we'll still take it. Tomorrow, they're still saying that here in Dallas, it's going to be 88 degrees, and then it's going to rain for the next 10 years. We'll see what happens. Hey, some tea in case you missed it earlier today. T.I. and Tiny are thinking about renewing their wedding vows. I'm so happy that they're back together. I am. Now, the problem with the wedding vows is Tiny is really not quite sure because she doesn't want to jinx anything. They're really in a great space right now, her and T.I., and she wants to keep it that way, and she doesn't want to put pressure on T.I. or their relationship by doing their vows in front of friends and family and basically the whole world. Then why'd you let the story get out? Diddy and Steph Curry were all hot and bothered about buying the Carolina Panthers. Diddy was like putting out videos and saying that he wants to make this happen. He was excited as a new dad. But it may not happen, and it's because of the price. ESPN says that the Carolina Panthers are for sale for $2.5 billion. And the leader of the group that they belong to trying to buy the team, a man named Michael Rubin, tapped out because he says that's too much money. I'm not paying $2.5 million for the Carolina Panthers. Come on, man. You can buy like two NHL teams for $2.5 billion. And former comedian, do you remember Byron Allen? What was that, Real People? Was that Real People he was on back in the day? Comedian. Well, he got to the business side of show business. And he started buying up, creating and buying up networks. Like he owns the Justice Network, Comedy.tv, MyDestination.tv, and Pets.tv. Well, Byron turned around and bought the Weather Channel for $300 million. His company, which is called Entertainment Studios. So Byron making money moves and making more money behind the camera in the upper offices than he ever made in front of the camera. And that's no shade. That's just fact. So Alicia Keys is going to produce a major biopic on Alvin Ailey. You know, Alvin Ailey founded his dance company in 1958, something like that. Check that and get back to me. I think it was 1958. There's no title for the movie or date as to when it'll be coming out. It just was announced that she is going to be producing the movie. Monica's looking for some talent. So if you sing or you know somebody who sings, then you should tell them to go to Monica.com. Her new talent contest is called Drop the Beat, and she's looking for people who are talented in the music business. So go to Monica.com for more on that. Let's see what else is going on. Facebook. So they've been posting on Facebook that if you type BFF in the comment section and it turns green, that means your computer is safe and secure from hackers and all kinds of stuff like that. I'm here to tell you that's a load of crap. Okay? Some people, I've seen it on my timeline, a few people, and a few people sharing it as if it's the gospel, and it's not. You can't type BFF and wait for it to turn green and thinking your computer's secure. That doesn't, no. Fake news, alternative facts, lies, myths, led astray, bamboozled, hoodwinked. I'm just saying. Chicken and waffles, apparently. I've never been a chicken and waffles kind of guy. I mean, I've had them. They're okay. But I prefer my chicken with regular chicken food, like vegetables. I prefer my waffles with, breakfast food. But some people are here for chicken and waffles. But apparently chicken and waffles are old and busted because here comes lobster and waffles, courtesy of Red Lobster. Beginning Monday, it's going to be part of their Lobster Fest menu where you can get fried lobster and Cheddar Bay biscuit waffles. So they're using the same batter, I think, to make the waffles if you're into the Cheddar Bay biscuits. So lobster, fried lobster, and Cheddar Bay biscuit waffles. So are you here for that? My heart just kind of, I just felt an artery just kind of go. We'll see. And candidates for Mom of the Year. We got a new candidate for Mom of the Year. Her name is Brianna Lofton. She's 20 years old. She was arrested for letting her 1-year-old baby smoke weed. So she had this bright idea. I'm going to smoke weed in front of my child. Then she's got a better idea. You know what? I'm gonna let my child smoke the weed too, my 1-year-old. Then she goes, you know what? I have a great idea. I'm going to videotape this. And then she had like the idea of ideas, and she put it on social media. Then she got arrested. If you go to krnb.com, you can see her mugshot. Her don't look happy at all. And let's see, the president Well, you know what? Let me talk about Stephon Clark. Stephon Clark is a young man in Sacramento who was shot 20 times by police. And there's been protests. Some protesters in Sacramento stopped. They delayed the start of the Sacramento Kings game against the Atlanta Hawks because they wouldn't let people in the building and stuff like that. And the owner of the team actually talked to his players and says, you know, protest if you must, but you know, let's keep in mind that, you know, let's encourage people to be peaceful and, you know, things like that. But he has no problem with his players protesting, which I thought was great because, you know, the NFL players, the NFL owners are not here for any of that. But he was shot 20 times because they thought he had a gun. And I think, what did he have, like an iPhone or something like that? They said it was dark. The video is just horrifying. I don't know if you saw it or not. And here's what's going to happen. They're going to say they feared for their safety, and then that'll be the end of it. That'll be the end of it. Because once they say that, then, you know, nothing. I mean, they may get indicted, you know, but once they say that, it's pretty much going to be a wrap. And that's unfortunate, you know. And some people will say, you know, why don't they shoot to wound? I've talked to many police officers of all different backgrounds and all different ethnicities, and they've all told me the same thing. We are not, when we pull our guns, it's live or die time. We're not here to wound people. When we pull out a gun, it's because we are getting ready to make the ultimate defense. We are shooting to kill. I get that. Because shooting to wound, they're just not trained for that. And some people say, well, why don't you train them for that? Because I don't think it would be effective. I don't think it would be effective to train them to wound people. I don't even know if that's even possible, to be quite honest. When you pull your gun, it's lethal time. And I've heard like a lot of white cops, Latino cops, Asian cops, African American cops, you know, say the same thing. We can't pull our gun and shoot to wound. It just doesn't work that way. My ex-brother-in-law was a cop, told me the same thing. So there's that. But I feel bad. He had a beautiful family. I know you saw the picture. And I just don't know what happened with that. Some windows were being broken. They thought it was him. And what the hell is that about? I just don't know. And the president today signed the spending bill. He didn't want to sign the spending bill. He thought it was garbage. He said nobody read it and we're just going to sign it. He didn't like that. Well, how many times have y'all done that? How many times have the Republicans done that? They try to ram all kinds of bills down the throats of the Democrats. So, I mean, it's not a good feeling, is it? There's not enough money for the wall. You know, he wants to build that border wall. And to give you an idea, in the bill he signed, there's like $1.5 billion for the wall. $1.5 billion will only cover 33 miles of the wall. That's nothing. That's nothing. That's like, you know, between me and the window behind me. That's just crazy. That makes no sense at all. And of course, the president is also on his third national security advisor. His lawyer, regarding the Russia investigation, quit because he says that the president wouldn't listen to his advice. So he's like, I'm out, man. I'm out, dude. I'm out. He tapped out. Let me out. I'm gone, man. I'm gone. History. Finito Benito. In the wind. Gone. Let's see who's checking in today. Brenda, how you doing? Glad to have you on board. Evelyn, it's 48 degrees in St. Louis, 45 in St. Louis. Brenda, I'm happy. You know what? I'm just happy they're back together. To me, I just like them together. And I was like not happy when they separated. You know, but I guess he had to go through some things. You know, he felt like he had to make sure that he was still desirable to other women or something. I don't know. I've never talked to T.I. about it, so there's that. But, yeah. So anyway, Lexington, Kentucky. Shirley's in the house. How you doing? Good evening to you and to Lois and to Linda. And happy Friday to Tracy. And Brenda's like me. She's not. Breakfast food is breakfast food. Okay? I don't want like eggs with mashed potatoes and green beans. I'm not that guy, you know. And I'm really not breakfast food guy anyway. But no, I'm not. I can't mix. You know. Do your kids, when they were little, and maybe your kids are still little, they don't like their food touching on the plate? My two youngest girls are. They're both adults, and they still feel that way. It's like, well, what is that? Come on, man. Come on, man. Yvonne, I'm doing great today, and I hope you are too. Denise is a first-time listener, viewer. Everybody tell Denise hello for me, and welcome, Denise. Appreciate you stopping by. Tracy says, poor kid, so sad. The woman who let her 1-year-old smoke weed and then put the video on social media and is now in jail. And should be. You know, Yvonne's talking about Stephon Clark. He had an iPhone. He didn't have a gun. He had an iPhone. You and I would probably say, you know, you can't tell the difference between an iPhone and a gun. And it's like, well, it was dark. You had to be in the moment. You can have all the training for anything in life, but when it's crunch time, sometimes, you know, for some people, that training kicks in, and for some people that don't, they panic, they just shoot, or whatever they do. It's just, everybody's different, you know. Tracy, thank you for saying that. I appreciate you saying that. You love our conversations, and this is the best part about going on Facebook Live is the ability for you and I, as I tell you these stories that happened today, that we can communicate and get your input and thoughts, whether you agree with me or don't agree with me, or you have a different perspective, things like that. I love that about Facebook Live. So, let's see. Debbie says it's inexcusable, it's unforgivable for the horrific killing of that young man. Yeah, I mean, you know, anytime something like that happens, you know, but I guess we got to go through the process of an investigation. But the police are investigating themselves. That in itself is flawed. So do you bring in another jurisdiction, police department, to investigate? Well, there's still policemen. There's still that blue wall of silence. You know, the blue wall is up. So I don't know what the solution is to that. An independent group of investigators. I don't know. I don't know. But police investigating police over something police allegedly may have done wrong has never worked out for me in my mind. You know. Then Donna's talking about what's going on. Hey, Donna, how you doing? At Red Lobster with the Lobster Fest thing, they got lobster and Cheddar Bay biscuit waffles. And she wants to know why are they ruining a lobster by frying it. I've never had fried lobster. I have no desire to have fried lobster. But I don't know. I wonder what that tastes like. It just because lobster just tastes good by itself. Lobster is basically, is it me or do lobster and like not fried shrimp, but shrimp that's whether it's scampi or whatever, they taste very similar. Like lobster is just like a big ass shrimp, which technically would be what, a prawn, right? I never heard of shrimp called prawns until I moved to California many years ago. I never heard that, and I grew up on the Gulf Coast of Texas, so there you go. Samuel, how you doing, buddy? What's going on, man? You know? Let's see. Yvonne is glad that T.I. and Tiny are back together. I'm so happy. I mean, there's just so much family there, you know. And the biggest mistake T.I. and Tiny ever made, and I've never talked to either one of them about this, but as an outsider looking in, tell me if you agree or not, is that they did a reality TV show. That was the worst thing they did because it put everything, warts and all, in front of everybody. And when you do that, then there's too many people. There are too many cooks in the kitchen. There are too many cooks in the kitchen, and I just think that was like the worst thing they could do. Because they were pretty much fine up to that point. You know, even when he went to jail and stuff, she stuck by him. She was his ride or die, and, you know, they were in love. And they did have the reality show, and it was kind of funny to me because he's got a serious Southern accent, you know. So there you go. Let's see. Pancho, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? Evelyn, your 31-year-old son doesn't like his food touching on the plate. He's 31, and he doesn't. Well, I feel better then. So that is crazy. But, yeah, let's see. Yvonne says it's terrible when a lady had her child on Facebook smoking weed. Yeah, that's just, you know. But that's just more proof, you know, just because you have, just because you can bear a child, or just from a man, just because you can make a child doesn't mean that you should. Clearly, this woman is not ready to be a mother. You know, her child is an accessory and not a child. And that's unfortunate. But shooting Stephon Clark 22 times, was it 22? Inexcusable. You know, one of the cops is African American. One of the cops, I think, was white, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if race played a part in it. I don't think it did. I just think it's a simple case of just going overboard, being heavy-handed, you know. I really believe that a lot of police brutality is tied to officers who were secretly in white supremacist groups. I do believe that. I believe that. Not every cop, and not most cops, and not even half the cops. But if you think the pattern of all this and the thinking that police have these days, those particular officers are really like heavy-handed with their authority. And that tells me something. That y'all, no, no. I'm just saying. Let's see what Wendy says. He had no right to kill the young man. Poor soul. The police will not do anything. They'll just keep passing the buck. And you know what? And even though, for the sake of argument, Wendy, even though, let's say, for instance, what you just said, and I really agree with what you said, but let's just say that's not true. Well, what are police going to do? Because a lot of people, and maybe most, especially people of color, think that. So what are you going to do to fix that? And the answer to this point has been not a damn thing. I'm just saying. I mean, that's how I feel. You know, the cops, yes, the police officer, Donna, the video camera was on, and there's a law in California where or at least in Sacramento, where you have to release the footage. But they muted their mics and had a conversation basically off mic, with the mic muted, where we couldn't hear what they were saying. That should not be possible. You know, whoever said to mute the mic, I'm not saying they should be fired, but they're gonna need 5 days off suspension, because you can't do that. You have a trust issue. You have a trust issue, and then you mute the mic. So now we trust you even less, if that's even possible. It's just too much for me, man. I don't know. I need to say something to you, and it's going to sound selfish, but I'm just really proud. My 18-year-old daughter, Maria, is tomorrow in St. Louis, is going to be going to the march, where the students are marching tomorrow, down Union Station, I think. And I'm so proud of her. Because she really likes stuff like that. You know, she likes witnessing stuff like that. She likes talking to people about how they feel and things. I mean, that's the journalism in her, and that's what she's going to go to college for, journalism of some sort. And I couldn't be more prouder of her, because she's going to, you know, yeah. It's just, I'm very proud of her deciding that she wanted to go to this, and very happy. And if you're going with your child or grandchild or whoever in St. Louis tomorrow, be on the look. What would you look after my daughter, please? Yes. Let's see. Joya. Hi, Joya. I don't think we've ever heard from you. God don't like ugly. Hell is too good for folks like crooked cops. Yeah. I see what you're saying. And I would never say, no, first of all, my friend Joe Madison, the syndicated radio guy, he says that nothing is absolute. This is why not all cops are dirty, or not all cops are racist. Not all cops are like that, right? Just like not all white people are Republicans. You know, not all white people are racist. You know, you may feel different based on your experience, but the truth of the matter is that's not true. All men do not cheat. It's not even mathematically possible. It's just not. Maybe it's the people you're around, you know. Pancho says they should be fired and prosecuted. You know what? I'm willing to wait and let's see how this investigation goes, although I have a pretty good idea of how it's going to go. I cannot imagine that they're going to be able to continue to be cops in Sacramento. They may have to go be cops somewhere else, which is kind of like a, you know, here in Texas, there's a thing with teachers who get fired for instance, being inappropriate with a student, right? They get fired, but they don't have their teaching license revoked. And there's not a national database to keep up with. So they could go to, if somebody got fired in Dallas, a teacher, for having an inappropriate relationship with a student, they could go to Austin and get a job, or San Antonio, or Houston, or El Paso, or Waco, or wherever, and get hired, because, and what they call it here is passing the trash. They're passing the teacher from one ISD to the other. And they can also go to Oklahoma or Michigan and get that job. There needs to be a national database of these teachers and their teaching credentials. You know, you should not. Now, I believe in second chances, but you don't get a second chance being a teacher. You get a second chance to contribute to society. You know, you're going to do your sentence or whatever price you have to pay for doing this, and then you get a do-over. But you can't be a teacher anymore because we can't let you around kids anymore. We can't do that. In my opinion, you know. Polly is up in here. Tracy, thanks for being on. Have a great night and a great weekend. Donna says she is proud of the youth who are working to make a difference, like my daughter. Yeah, you know, these young people are so impressive. And I'm going to give credit where credit is due. And I hope you don't take this as trivializing anything. But, you know, when Mike Brown was murdered in Ferguson, Missouri, the young people who galvanized, I'm not talking about the young kids who were just like looting stores. I'm talking about the young kids who were angry and wanted change. They're really the ones who got the ball rolling. And it's kind of snowballed pretty slowly, but then we had these shootings in schools and stuff, and now these kids, they are brave, they are fearless, and they are coming together. And you know what? They're the ones who are going to change things. And you're right, Donna, I couldn't be more proud of them. You know, Pancho says dirty cops need to find another profession. Well, I don't think anybody would disagree with that. It's just that I don't know if the blue wall is a real thing or a myth. I kind of think it's a real thing. It seems pretty obvious. Police will say there's no such thing as a blue wall, but nobody's buying. The problem is that the police have such a bad reputation with people of color that you're going to have to do something more than talk. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know, but something needs to be done. I'm just saying. So there's that. Yvonne, have a great weekend. And I got to get out of here because my last song is playing, so I got to get ready for my next break. So you guys have a great weekend. If you're in St. Louis and you missed my Facebook Live last night with my brother from another mother, Mark Clark, it's on Facebook. You can find it. Go to my Facebook page and you'll see it. We had a great conversation yesterday, and everybody was real excited about that. But everybody else, even if you're not from St. Louis, if you're here in North Texas or wherever you are in the world, you want to see a great conversation between two best friends about things, about life, about our careers, and we spent some time together. Most people may not know that, but that was the deal on that. But it was special. So if you want to check that out, you can. Let's see, Belinda, they are the future. God bless our youth. That's exactly what they are. And God bless our youth. And God bless you guys, too. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on this Friday. Have a great weekend. And be safe.